Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past. And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another night of insanity. It's a special edition Florida Park Explorers Travel with my good friend Jordan's Disney Adventures. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad yourself.
Let's do a sound check and make sure, because I didn't have to make any adjustments this time, and I don't believe that can be accurate. Let's see.
Well, we don't want to do a mic drop because we don't want to drop Mike Wheeler or any other mics.
That was a good joke. The crowd apparently liked it a lot, so we're going to give you a...
Oh, boy. Here we go.
It's going to be a long night, everybody.
Yeah,
hopefully everybody can hear Jordan. That's always my concern, is that we're not set up audio-wise. And I literally had a matter of like minutes to get everything set up. You're good. Thank you, Mike. We did the mic check. Oh. Thanks, Wheeler. Anyway, so welcome in tonight, everybody. We're back fresh off the cruise. And the thumbnail kind of gives away what tonight's about. It's about Disney cruises and some issues. Let me predicate this whole thing by saying I have a love for Disney that goes back to my childhood, like most of you. I'm not going to be bashing Disney tonight. This is not a negative about Disney. This is about the three experiences we've had as the explorers going on the boat. I'm going to tell you what has happened with us. I'm going to point out some things that are human nature. And I believe that most people are going to look at this and realize I'm not being unfair. I'm being honest. And as a travel agent, my integrity goes further than my opinion. Okay, it has to be about an honest experience. What happened? I would never sell anybody something that was untrue, because at the end of the day, you're going to go on your experience. You're going to sit there and say, wow, what a liar. This is horrible. You could go on a boat and have a totally different experience of what I'm about to say. And let me tell you something. I believe most people have. I believe that we're more than likely, at least in years past, maybe not to today, and I'll get there in a minute, I may not be the diamond in the rough anymore. It may be that there's more people like me, but they don't know what to do. And that's kind of what tonight is about. If you're getting ready to take a Disney cruise, or any cruise for that matter, I urge you, stick around, hear what we have to say tonight, because this one's for you guys. We've been on 3 Disney cruises in 4 months. So am I like this guy? where he's been on 700 of them and they're going to give him an award and name a boat after him. No. But I've been on 3 and 4 months and I have a pretty good idea as to what they do. And I'm certified in Disney College of Knowledge. I'm certified by 2 other cruise lines as well. And it comes down to our experiences. Now, I literally, and you can argue with me now, Jordan. I begged you not to come on the show tonight. Did I not?
A couple times.
Hey Jen, will you come up here for a second, please? And I didn't want you to come up here because I didn't. This isn't about Jordan's experiences. Jordan went through a lot of this with me. I guess Jen doesn't want to come up here. I, Jen, Jen. Oh,
Housekeeping.
mousekeeping. I guess we're just going to hear Jurassic Park in the background the whole time. Thanks, Belle. Anyway,
So do you have a T-Rex or a raptor rolling around in your house?
wait, Jen's coming. We're going to get a door closed here. Thank you, Jen. We love you.
What?
Can you close the door?
You need to do this before the show started.
No.
I mean, come on.
No.
We're watching Jurassic Park. I
No.
mean, come on.
I have a hat for that too. Yeah. Just in case anybody doesn't believe me. This one's mine. All right, so here's the deal, everybody. I have a love for Disney that goes back forever. We live behind the castle. We're annual pass holders, have been for 18 years. We've been doing this a long, long time. And I have a certain expectation of Disney based on my experiences. To sit there and say that I have no experience in the parks and guest services would be absolutely ridiculous. Agreed? So, cruising to me is new. We didn't get off on the right foot. So let's break it down. And then we'll kind of back up and go forward. And if
maybe
Jordan looks like
get down.
Huh?
Do we want to? We probably should say hi to everybody.
You know what? You're right.
Just saying.
You're right.
I mean, I know you're in your mojo.
No, it's just I hate being late for a stream, and I was really late, and it was for a good reason because we were helping somebody actually book a cruise. It was a Royal Caribbean, by the way. So let's go high. Let's do that. Why don't you do this part? Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Kate. Monorail Steve. We got Stevie D. Oh, we got Jen's in here too. Oh, sweet Jesus, we're in trouble, Dave. We got Tinky, we got Poison Apple, we got Andy. Who else we got here? I gotta scroll up in the chat. Heidi's here. Oh yeah, Heidi was busting my chops. So if I got any rest,
That's okay. JT's giving me the business right now.
Oh, is she dropping it down? We got Christine. Who else we got here? Oh, we got Michael. Oh, we got Jill. Oh, we got Double Trouble in the house. We got Lisa Emmons family. Who else? Who else? We said, yeah, JT's giving you crap. That's right. Kathleen's in here. Oh, we can't forget to say hi to Stream Elements, but
if not, they'll turn off.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
No.
Ronnie's in the house. I think I got everybody, but if I missed you,
you'll come in and we'll say hi to you. Don't worry. We promise.
You're more than welcome to scream at us or whatever the case is. We got no problem. Oh, we got Lucille's here as well too. Nice. And Christy. There we go.
Fantastic. And it really is. I'm happy to have everybody here tonight. And if you are new here, we are the Florida Park Explorers. During the day, you're used to seeing my gorgeous redheaded wife running around everywhere, trying to fulfill everybody's magical dreams at your own home. She does an amazing job, so we're super proud of what she does. Over here, I get to goof off. I get to kind of talk about travel. I get to force us to go on trips. Disney Dream, what's happening? If you guys are new, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. That would also go a long way.
See, Christine, if you don't like your name in gray, that means you have to become a member. It's just that simple.
What happened?
Well, Christine says, oh my God, I don't like my name in gray. So I told her
membership is for all. Now, I will tell you this, everybody. This is the Forgotten channel. I have yet to do the upgrades on member services and everything else. with everything that's gone on with Florida Park Explorers, the flagship channel, I have done my very best to try and get this channel back up and going. It used to be a different channel. It was actually two different channels, but that's not really why we're here. I want to make sure that if you guys want to be in the green, come on over, hang out with us in green, come chill out with us, do what we do. And I'm just making an adjustment to the stream right now because this is crazy.
And I'll say hi to Michelle Elizabeth.
Please do, because I'm hearing an echo, so I'm trying to adjust the audio.
Sorry.
So why don't you juggle for a minute?
I didn't pass that course.
Oh.
I failed miserably.
Really?
So, yeah. I mean, if you want me to use knives, I mean, I can try. Or I can try and do...
Well, you just seemed like a juggalo. Oh, JJ.
Oh.
JJ's in the house, everybody. All right, let's see if that's any better. It's starting to get a little better.
Well, you gotta start breaking stuff.
You would think that would be the easy solution, but it never seems to be. So, to kind of go back and give everybody how this whole thing started. It started with
a dream.
I don't get it. What is wrong with my audio? Like, you guys can't hear that, right?
I can't hear nothing.
What is going on? I am totally, totally confused right now. Why is that doing that?
I don't know.
Hang on. Let's make one more adjustment, and then we'll be in good shape. Oh, if you don't put echo cancellation on, guess what happens?
It echoes.
It echoes. Let's put that on. And normally I do all this stuff before we come on, everybody, but tonight I just wanted to keep you all on your toes and say hi. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. But anyway, let's go back to go forward.
Pause for a second.
Huh?
Kathleen's been a member for 3 months.
Who has?
Kathleen,
welcome. Hold on. I will put that up, I promise. I'm just trying to make an adjustment on the back end. So I don't even have the screen open, so I can't see anything right now.
That's good. Well, that's okay. I'm telling you. So I got you covered. No worries.
I appreciate it.
And Heidi's been a member for 1 month.
Heidi, part of the angels. Sorry. All right, let's see if that made a difference. All right, I don't hear me anymore. Yay! That's a good thing, except what's coming out of my mouth, which is a bonus. All right, so...
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
So basically what happened is we started with the FP meetup. Trish, what's happening? Long time no see. It started out with, hey, let's do an FP meetup. Let's do this. I was extremely... Kate, welcome in, new member. I don't have member videos in here. I got to load those. I'm so bad at this. You know what?
I thought you had to put it in there.
No, I was supposed to do it last week, and you guys are awesome. Let me just say to all the members out there, we appreciate you guys. It's how we are able to do this stuff. We thank you guys, and thanks for sharing it out, hitting the likes. I appreciate that. We're hoping that some other folks join us. We put some stuff out there. Theo, Sam Eagle in the house, everyone. So we started this with let's go on a cruise. It originally was supposed to be an FP meetup on land. It didn't take because, well, obvious reasons. We were dealing with a schmo. Christine March just became a member. Welcome.
That's because she didn't like her name being in gray, so it's got to be green.
We're affectionately calling this channel FPET for Florida Park Explorers Travel. I don't know. FPET? Anyway, so then it came down to let's go on a cruise. There was a great deal on the Wish, and and to be honest with you, I was talked into it. I'm a much better color now. That's great. It's not easy being green. That's what I was told. So, the Redhead is packaging all that stuff that you guys buy. She's trying to make sure that she can get it out and actually have a half a day to herself. Hey, you, what's up? So
Oh,
I
he's
was
the party
talking
starter
to
apparently.
going on the Wish, and in the beginning, I got to be honest with you, I was not excited about this. I was not into cruising. I didn't know anything about it. As most of you know, I'm petrified of heights, and the water doesn't scare me. I'll do cannonballs and swim with sharks all day. None of that bothers me. But heights, I wasn't good with it. So much that I had to be medicated to go on the boat the first time. Um, I like legitimately, if you listen to me go on the boat the first time and you listen to the live stream, you can hear Dave's a little off.
Dave
Like,
got a few sunken treasures before he got on the ship.
no, this was doctor prescribed. The sunken treasures helped. I'm not going to tell you it didn't. Um, no pets were used in the making of F Pet. Theo, I love you. So I got on the boat the first time. I was super scared. I'm not going to tell you I wasn't. I was petrified. Walking, I mean, there was jokes for weeks before. Everybody who knows I was in the travel group knows the fact that I was deathly afraid to cross that gangplank. I walked over it. Bella held my hand. I closed my eyes. She was my guide, Bella, and on the boat we went. Once we got on there, we ran in with Kathleen and Michael, and then we wound up going upstairs and seeing everybody. And for some reason, it was just okay. My body just relaxed. I was all right with what I was seeing. I didn't have a problem with it for some reason. And everyone kept telling me, "You won't even know. You won't know," and they were all right. So the first part of the trip was epic. I'm going to tell you that right now. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Um, we got to our stateroom. We had a balcony. We were on the seventh floor. It was really nice. The accommodations were beautiful. I didn't have any real issues with it. We're going to kind of speed through this a little bit. We get to the Bahamas. The boat, prior to getting to the Bahamas, the boat broke down. We know this because at 3:30 in the morning, I felt the boat hit an iceberg off the coast of the Bahamas. At least that's what it felt like. Because
It was
when
a
I jumped, yeah, the whole boat shook. And in nautical terms, it means it was cavitating. Ooh.
Ooh. You're getting all
But
fancy with lingo.
thank you. But for somebody who doesn't know boats and doesn't know where he is when he wakes up and a boat is shaking, the first thing I thought was we were having an earthquake. Um, so I jumped up. Then the first thought was we're having an earthquake, and I looked around and I went, "Where the hell am I?" And then I realized we were on the boat. So I went outside and I realized it was dead quiet and we were dead in the water. I waited about an hour and a half. There was no announcement. There was no rush to your mustard and ketchup station. There was no. There was nothing.
Don't forget the mayo and the dill pickles.
Yes, those are at Mickey's. Anyway, um, so I was like, well, I'm just going to go back to bed. And then there was an announcement came over in cabin and said that we were delayed getting into port. Okay. So they let us off the boat. We did our thing. We get back on the boat. Boat's broken. We're there 38 hours. Um, we didn't go to Castaway. We limped back. There was inadequate compensation, 20% with $100 per cabin credit. I personally think is laughable, especially with what I will tell you at the end of this story. This is something you're not going to want to miss. So if you're not buckled in, you should be, because the end of the story is going to shock you beyond belief. Remember what I said to you about breaking down at sea, about being stuck in port on the Disney Wish. This will pay dividends in about 10 minutes. So we get up, we do the thing, we get back to port in Port Canaveral. We get off the boat. It was not the best experience. Why? We missed an entire port. We weren't allowed off the boat. However, what made the saving grace was the FP community that we were with. We had a blast because we made the best of a bad situation. We literally was able to take video, your background. Yeah, I have. Honestly, I couldn't build anything for tonight's program. I'll have it for next week. There was, this is the third stream of the day today, and I also had a travel booking in between. So let's finish that up. I really laid into Disney afterwards. You guys know I sat here. I did a whole program about it. I piss bitched and moaned. I went down to guest services because they're 20 minutes away from me. And I made them give me a deal. And they gave it to me. I don't think they expected me to take it because it was like, let's see if he does this. And I took it. And it was the magic that we went on for Bella's birthday. And let me tell you something. I had a blast on that boat. We had a lot of fun. The boat was exceptional. The experience was phenomenal. We drove down to Miami. We got on the boat. It's the oldest boat in the fleet. It's the first one they came out with. The boat shows it. I'm not going to tell you it doesn't because that's where the story takes a right turn at Albuquerque. So the experience on the Magic was exceptional. And we're going to get back to length of stays and everything else in Disney in a minute as well. But we get to our cabin, and I don't have it up for this, but I will post it on my IG so you guys can see it. Because I don't think I could even show it because my phone's up there as my camera, so that doesn't help. The room was in less than stellar shape. Now, this boat had just come out of a 3.5-week dry dock where they upgraded Soul Cat Lounge, which, by the way, nobody cared. Where they put an Encanto experience in for the kids, and it was okay, but to be honest with you, it was very disorganized. It was a fun program. It was fun to watch Bella interact and to come out of her shell. From a parent standpoint, that was exceptional. And for what Heidi said. So it was a great, great time. But as soon as we walked in the room, I noticed a couple of things. The room was very dated, very worn. The sofa was in such bad shape. I covered it in towels. Jordan saw the pictures. How bad was it?
I wouldn't have sat on it at all, period. It was horrendous.
The middle cushion, and I'm not being funny or ugly when I say this, but this is actually the letter that I wrote to Disney Cruise Line was, it either looked like someone soiled it, like either on purpose or by accident, or that they poured an entire pot of coffee on it. It was that soiled. It was disgusting. Now, to make matters worse, it was ripped at the corners, and the sofa was actually broken. I could stick my hand back behind it. Can you post your IG? I am sure any one of the incredible mods that have my IG. It's Florida _park _explorers on IG. Jen is FL Park. I'm Florida Park.
Steve's already posted.
Steve is faster than anybody on earth when it comes to posting links. But that's my IG. I'll make sure that I post that picture tonight after we get off so that you guys can see what I was talking about. So the first night comes. We never met our room attendant, by the way. 5-night cruise. I never met the room attendant, which, from what I understand, is absurd. So the bed gets converted for Bella to sleep on it that night, and I come over and the bed's like moving. I'm like, that's great. So the following morning, we left a note right on the bed. Bed's broken, couch is ripped and stained. Please let guest services know. So when we get back, the room is made back up. The couch is back together. The note's gone. The average person would say, okay, well, they're on it, right? They got the note. We're cool. Day 2 turns into day 3. I leave the same note again. Hey, bed's broken. Haven't heard from you guys. This goes on for another night. So finally, I got pissed. And
I can vouch for that.
I got pissed. And I went down to guest services and I spoke with the guest services officer that was on board. And I was completely blown off. It was like he outranked me, and he was like, "You're dismissed," and which I didn't like. He's like, "Oh, well, we went in today and we took care of the repair." So I go immediately back to the room. There's 2 stitches on either corner, and they tucked it under, and it looked like it was glued. But the bed was still broken. So I was upset about it. And I was like, the kid slept on us the whole time. She didn't sleep that great. I didn't sleep that great because I was worried about the bed. There was a gap in between the mattress and the wall. I was afraid she was going to fall between it. Bella does not do cruises have a dress code. Some do. Disney doesn't. So I was concerned because Bella sleeps in a full size bed, and I was afraid she was going to roll off of the bed one way or the other. So it wasn't great. So the first time our boat breaks down. The second time we have an interior room issue. We weren't in an interior, we had a portal, one of the big portals. But we had an interior problem, which was the room, and it not being overtly clean. There were a lot of things that broke off. Like, you would laugh, but towel bars that would just fall off. And it was like, all right. So here's where Jordan comes in. Jordan and I are sitting around one night, and I'm trying to find different fares and this and that. And while we're sitting there, I said to him, I go, my agency just gave me a promo. And so he's like, dude, you got to do it. And I was like, well, it's on one specific thing. Of course, it's on the Wish, yada, yada, yada. So he's like, you got to do it. So I was like, all right. So we jump on this deal. And it was a stellar deal. I'll give you that. We jump on it. We get involved. And everything's fine. There was no issue. The booking went okay. Everything was good. I talked to Jordan probably about 10 times a day. He was watching what was happening. He makes a comment to me one day. He goes, you get the Disney bands on the Wish. And I said, yes, I haven't got my email yet. And he goes, well, it's in your Navigator. So I go into Navigator, which is your onboard. It's like my Disney experience for the boat. And it wasn't working. So Jordan's like, you got to go on your computer sometimes. I'm like, all right. So I go on the computer, and you go in this loop. Every time it said buy it, it would take you back to the screen. And so I'm like, all right. So the next morning, it's still not working. So I called Disney Cruise Line. And they said to me that you couldn't have a shared account anymore, which Jen and I were sharing our accounts. I was just signing in through hers. Why? She makes all the plans. I don't have to do anything. If she books a reservation, we're all included. Life is easy. We've never had a problem. Never. We go to the park every other day. It's ridiculous. So 2.5 hours I'm on the phone with guest services. All I wanted was the Disney bands for the Wish. There are 3 of them. I wanted to buy all 3 and put them on the shelf right here. I was never going to wear them. I wanted the little box. I wanted the whole thing. I wanted the experience. So I'm told they won't take a credit card over the phone, but yet they take credit cards over the phone to book your trip. I was told it couldn't be booked to my room. It couldn't be sent to my room. There was nothing that they could do. It was the most disorganized thing in the world. The best part is the tech that's trying to fix this for me is telling me there's a glitch in the system. So they know there's a glitch. They know it doesn't work. They know that guest services can't help. They know that guest services won't do anything. And you just get run around in circles. Now, while I was on the boat, I found 10 people that had the same issue. They couldn't buy Disney bands. They were stuck in that loop. But they didn't call Disney like I did because they didn't know what to do. So Disney, if you're watching, you lost out on tons and tons of revenue because you have a glitch. Gets worse from there. So they said to me, well, it takes the system sometimes 24 hours to update. That was the week that we were doing 2 and 3 streams a day. So I lost track of what was going on. Jordan says to me again, hey, did you do your Disney band? You're about to run out of time. I had like 2.5 weeks. And you have 11 days before?
Yeah, up to 11 days prior, yeah.
So I was running out of time. It was like I had like 6 days to get it fixed. So I called back, and Jordan was on FaceTime with me. And I was on the phone, about an hour and a half with that tech?
If not more, yeah.
It might have been a little more. And he flat out told me, I can't fix this. I'm going to comp your Magic Bands. Okay. Well, how do I get them? See guest services. When? When you get on the boat. So I'm not going to have them before. I can't get them personalized. I can't. All right, whatever. So AAU, that's what this is all about, brother. Don't skip to the ending. This isn't a choose your own path. Put a shirt on. Just hang out. So basically, it was an absolute cluster. And then it got worse because I started calling every day. My navigator wasn't working. We're getting close to getting on the boat. JG, thank you, buddy. We're getting close to getting on the boat. Nothing's working. I can't use anything. I went to go buy an onboard package because I wanted Bella to have a great experience on the Wish since she had a bad one. And it was one of those things where it was the banners and the sail away, and it was going to make her feel like she walked in, she was special. And it was $92. Okay, it's a lot of money. Okay, it's not cheap. And I wasn't going to take credit for it. I was going to say, "Wow, look at what Disney did for you." You know, I didn't want it to come from Dad. I wanted it to come from Disney. And, you know, I was going to do something nice for Jen. Jen's been busting her butt left and right. And I wanted to do something special for them. I couldn't, it never happened. I never got there. Super sticker. Do you know that pops up on my screen? That's kind of funny. Boop.
Yeah.
Can I put that up?
Do it.
That's
What's
the
up
best
top?
you got, Ecamm? That's great. Thank you, JG. I can't run anything because I'm totally unprepared. So here's where it gets bad. So I call in. Jordan and I are sitting there. And Jordan's like, look, you got to get to a shoreside guest services manager. That's how you get through this. They'll take care of it, blah, blah, blah. I get on the phone. And the girl who answers the phone, she was a sweetheart. Okay, she was trying to help. She was super good. I said, look, you know, I'd like to get over to guest services shore manager. And so they put me on. And I was on the phone about, what, 6 minutes? When she hung up on me?
Yeah.
And I kept saying to her, now I'm talking to her the way I'm talking to you right now. I was calm, collective. I wasn't thrilled. I was stern to the point. And it was like, we're 5 or 6 minutes in, and all of a sudden, I go immediately to the survey after the phone call, which means she hung up on me. So I finished the survey. I absolutely bombed them on the survey. I screamed at the voicemail at the end. And then I said to Jordan, I said, watch this. I'm calling back. I was like, I'm handing everybody their head. And I called back, and I get a girl on the phone. I said, I don't want to yell at you. I'd like to yell at the next person. I said, would you please put me on with someone I can yell at? The highest person you can get me to. I waited on hold for 21 minutes. Now, if anybody's ever been in guest services, what's the last thing you do with an irate customer? Stick them on hold for 21 minutes and have no contact with them and see how pissed they get. By the time this person got on the phone, I was in full bear shark mode. I was ready to rip him in half. Now, the best part is he came on the phone condescending. He was about as rude as he could be. So another 20 minutes goes by with him on the phone where nothing happened because he had no authority.
Yeah.
Now, he represented himself as a guest side shore services manager. So we find out the next day after he kicked it up to leadership, when they called back to me, that he was not, in fact, management. So the first manager hung up on me, and then they lied about it by putting in the notes that the call was disconnected. Jordan's on FaceTime. He can tell you that didn't happen. Kate, thank you so much. We appreciate you. So we get this other girl on the phone, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want people, you know, I'm not here for that. But Jordan is sitting here tonight because he wanted to almost validate what I was saying. She was disinterested in what I had to say. She came into the fight with already knowing where she was going to go and that she was immovable. She didn't care what I had to say. And as God is my witness and Jordan sitting next to me, the words came out of my mouth. I'm a travel agent. I've been to the park 300 times in the last year. I live behind the castle. I'm Disney through and through, but you lost me as a Disney cruise client because of the lying, because of the lack of guest service. Now, here's the caveat, everybody. To finish Disney College of Knowledge, one of the questions that they ask you is, when a client asks, why is Disney Cruise so much more money than one of the other cruise lines? The answer is because Disney is a luxury cruise line with impeccable guest service. I had a boat that broke. I had a couch my kid could barely sleep on that smelled of urine. And I had a technological nightmare with Navigator. Now, I'll tell you why that matters in a second, but that's 3 strikes in my book. And I told them this, and the answer was, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. So they didn't care. So Jordan sat there, and because I looked at Jordan, and again, he's sitting right here. I sat there and I said to him, I'm like, dude, I'm done. I don't care. I'm going on the boat. I'm never booking another one. I don't care about this. I'm going to absolutely trash them online. I'm going to trash them in a video. And I decided that wasn't the right thing to do. Why? Because at the end of the day, I will never trash Disney. This is a bad set of circumstances and a bad experience. So here's where it gets worse. I don't know how this could happen, but it gets worse from here. I was trying to get the Disney bands. I tried to get the onboard thing for my wife and my daughter. I couldn't even book excursions. I couldn't, snorkels, masks, and tubes. No big deal. But I couldn't do it. So Jordan took it upon himself and said, no. Now, he doesn't play the I'm the Platinum cruiser until he has to. So once I said to them, I was like, look, I said, Jordan's on the phone with me, yada, yada, yada. I said, do you realize that this guy is, he's been on 17 Disney cruises. Like, their attitude, and Jordan will tell you this, their attitude changed because they had a Platinum cruiser on the phone. And when I was leaving the boat the other day, one of the officers came up to us because we had all the merch that everyone had bought from the boat. And he goes, oh, it looks like you had a great time. He's like, oh, when's the next one? I said, never. I'm never coming back. And he laughed, thinking I was kidding. And I said, no, I'm not kidding. And he goes, but you have all that merch. And I said, I love Disney, but I'm not a fan of Disney cruises. And I said, I've been in the park 300 times. I've never had a problem in guest experience in the park. And then it dawned on me. I've been in the park for 18 years. I'm what Jordan is to Disney Cruise Line, but I'm like that to the park. When they pull me up and they look at my account, they're like, good Lord, he's been with Disney a long time. Oh my God, in 4 years, he's been in the park 1,200 times. Disney cares about longevity. They cared about the fact that they didn't want to upset a Platinum cruiser. They didn't care about a 2-time loser. And I kept telling them I felt like, if anybody's ever read the book, The Forgotten Customer, I felt as if we were forgotten. Our money wasn't as good as the next person's. I was in third-class steerage, and I had to shovel coal in order to, to gain my status. I didn't like it. If that's what luxury cruise experience is, I'll tell you what it's like after I go on MSC and Royal, because I am. At the moment, I'm currently done with Disney cruises. Let me tell you where it went worse. Jordan jumps in, gets the head of Disney Cruise Line guest services involved. The head, the top person, number one. The number one person is involved. So Jordan says to me, when you get on the boat, go over to guest services. They've got notes from this person, and this person. You want to get an officer, they're going to adjust this. Okay. I'm on the phone with Jordan in line to talk to them. I get off the phone with him and I said, let me just try this. Let's see what happens. I was with guest services about 6 minutes, where they said to me, I see the notes. Let me talk to leadership and I'll be back. And I said, can you bring out an officer? He said, I'll be right back. Now, if any of you have ever done cruises, it's not uncommon in the beginning to see people at guest services trying to get stuff arranged, this and that. But I started to realize there was something wrong with this cruise. And it was that nobody had received luggage tags, luggage was lost, there was all kinds of problems. Seems like there's something systemically wrong. Guest service agent comes back over, says, hey, It looks like they've got everything worked out. All you got to do is go up to Mickey's main sale. Once it's open, you'll be able to get your Disney bands, and we're going to pixie dust your room. If anybody doesn't know what that means that they're going to do something special in your room. And he asked me, he said, has it happened yet? And I said, no, hasn't happened yet. It's okay. So I go over to Port of Adventures, which is where I had to book my excursion that I couldn't book the whole time. It was supposed to be wink, wink, Bob's your uncle, nudge, nudge. You're not really paying for this, right? $97 later for 2 snorkels and a tube. I leave Port of Adventures. So I headed to the bar. Why? I figured if I was going to get screwed, I may as well be drunk. Get on the phone with Jordan, and I said to him, this is what happened. He goes, this is unacceptable. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. I was like, I'm on the boat. Navigator doesn't work. Bella wants to go play the game on my phone. I can't give it to her. I don't know what to do. You know, like, I'm already here. I'm not going to let it ruin my time. And how many times did I say to you, I'm not going to let it ruin it?
A lot.
So we get back to we go back. We're doing our thing. We go to dinner. Food's excellent. Service, let me just tell you this right now. My dining experience, Sam, if you're watching this and you come back and you watch this, you are one of the best servers I've ever seen in my life. Your attention to detail was magnificent. You treated us incredibly, incredibly well. I thank you for everything. Mavis, you are amazing. I will request you anytime I go on any boat anywhere. I'm going to ask them to bring you from the Wish to the boat that we're on. You're that good.
Mavis is phenomenal. Like phenomenal on our cruise back in April. Outstanding. Got nothing but good things.
She remembered us right off the bat too.
Mm-hmm.
How many people they deal with in a week, and she remembered us. She remembered the group, which who couldn't remember that group? Man, we make an impression.
Yes.
So the food was phenomenal. The service was exceptional. So we leave. Now we go and we do our shopping. We're doing our thing. I go up. I ask about the Disney bands. No one has any idea what I'm talking about. Okay? No one has any idea about these magic bands. So I wind up back at Guest Services, who tells me, go back to Mickey's main sale. I'm like, this is a joke. So I was like, this is a joke. So we get into port, get up the next morning. You guys all joined me for coffee and a sort of 5K. I did the 5K after because Dave needed a little coffee. Now, what you guys don't know is within 15 minutes of me finishing that live stream, a pair of ears and a bag of popcorn with 2 Rice Krispie treats showed up and said, we hope that you would accept this with our sincerest apologies. So they were watching my live stream. They watched it. They watched me sit there and bash it. And by the way, so did 3,000 other people because that video is sitting at 3K. So they give us these ears, this thing, and I'm like, okay. I wind up back at Guest Services. They said to me, oh, has your room been pixie dusted? No. Nothing's happened. So we keep going down this road. Now we get to Pirate Night. You guys remember Pirate Night? We couldn't live stream. Did anybody see me have a problem live streaming until Pirate Night? No. I'll tell you why in a minute. So the internet goes out on the boat. Everybody had a problem. We go through the night. There's no internet. There's no this. There's no that. Get up the next day. We're in Castaway. We go do the things at Castaway. When I shut my phone off, came back on, I was on cellular, and I said, you know what? If it gives me the ability to live stream, I'm going to do it. We did a half an hour. Brenda, what's happening? We did a half an hour live stream. Showed you as much as we could. Did a little shopping. Showed you the island. And it was what it was. We got back on the boat. We go to dinner that night. We're in 1923. After dinner, I was talking with people out in the atrium. Crew members, if you will. People who are janitorial. I was just kind of walking around talking with people. Jen was headed to Kids Club with Bella. I was talking with people. I love chatting with the crew. I love talking with people. And they said something I've never heard, and this is what's going to tie this whole thing together for you guys. Now, Jordan, you're not allowed to answer this. They have a nickname for the wish. The crew members do. They call it the Black Pearl. If anybody knows what the Black Pearl is referencing, it's a cursed ship. They were telling me that when the treasure comes out, people have already put in their transfer. They want to get off that boat. During my travels that night, I ran into somebody who was a part of the main sailing. And from the UK over, when they did the sea trials and they were putting the wish together to try and get it over for the maiden voyage. And they told me that on the first night where everybody was on board, they were duct taping things together to hold it in for that cruise. That there were electrical issues throughout the entire boat. That it was not uncommon for them to shut the engines off in the middle of the night to make repairs. That this boat has issues. And this is coming from people who wash floors, do windows, do maintenance. This is what I'm being told. Now, remember I said to you about the 20% for it breaking down in the Bahamas? How does 20% become fair when they knowingly are sending passengers out on this boat? This boat is not seaworthy. It breaks down a lot. Now, Jordan will tell you that it has 2 natural gas engines, 2 diesel backups, and 2 generators. All that is true. Were we stranded at sea the first night and they got it fixed enough to get us into port? Because we were supposed to be there at 6. We didn't get there till 10:45. So it wasn't going very fast. So,
and even from where my room was, especially since we're at the back, there was no movement in the water whatsoever.
The boat was doing under 8 knots to get into port. It was crazy. So the boat breaks down the first time. They give us 20% and $100 room credit. I go on the Magic. We already went over that. Go on this one. Technologically, I had a nightmare of a time. So we had no internet to stream on. As a matter of fact, Jordan will tell you that I couldn't even FaceTime him the next morning, which I was on FaceTime with he and Sam. I was eating barbecue, talking to them on my balcony.
Sausage, ribs, brisket,
Oh, so good.
pickles.
So the thing is, this is my experience. This doesn't mean everybody's going to have this experience. There were 4,000 other people on the boat. Not everybody had that experience. There were a bunch of new first-timers. And they were put off by a lot of the same things that I'm talking about. Luggage tags not making it there, having to constantly go to guest services, and all these other things. How does this whole thing relate? Well, Disney of yesteryear, in my opinion, is better than Disney of today. Disney of today is, if you look at their stock options, it's a steady decline. And there's a reason for it, because they're doing a really, really stupid things. And they're not putting the guest experience as number one. They're putting other things above the guest experience. Now, I'm typically used to, I walk into guest services in the park, and I tell them, it doesn't matter what it is. I was having a hard time coming up with something where I had an issue. But in the times that I did have issues, it's like, we fix your problem. We're going to give you a fast pass to go on the next ride. And oh, by the way, here's a box of popcorn. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you. And then what happens? How many times have you guys been with us in a park and I said, let's give that cast member a cast compliment? They're fantastic. They're great people. They're salt of the earth. They're there to give you that magical experience. Now, I did not get my magic bands yet. And I'll tell you why. So I finally go up there, and they pull them out of a drawer. They are rubber band together, and they don't have chargers. They looked like somebody left the magic band behind. And I was like, you know what? I was supposed to get it personalized. It was supposed to come to me in a box. I want that experience. So on the last night, before I got off the boat, I went to guest services one last time because he told me I should. And I said, all
And he
right, you know
listened.
what? So I go to the guest services and I meet Ricardo. Now, Ricardo is the diamond in the rough for guest services. He listened, he understood what he was up against, and he said the words no one in Disney Cruise Line experience had said to me. You are a valued passenger. I am so sorry to hear this. Let me see what I can do to fix this. I care. Okay.
And he said, "Please stand by." Sorry, I couldn't resist.
So he immediately refunded my internet package, which was like $300. All right. So that was a big deal. He refunded our photo package because they never took our picture at the second dinner. Nor did we make it to the royal gathering for a different reason. But once he looked at it, he goes, "You guys didn't use this." I said, "No, we didn't." I said, "The tubes and all the other jazz." He's like, "Let me see what I can do." He goes, "I have limited ability here, but I will also kick this back up to upper management." Okay, fine. But he cared enough to sit there. You could see the empathy in his face. He he cared, and this was an officer. So Ricardo, if you're seeing this, hats off. Wait, hats off to you. You did a phenomenal job. Keep in mind, this goes back to me calling guest services and saying I want Disney Band Plus. If they had left my reservation alone, sent me the damn bands, and charged my card, none of this happened. Everything became a systemic issue that snowballed off of one bad decision. Then they lied to me. Then they hung up on me. Then they lied to me. Then they lied to me some more. Then they didn't follow through with what they said they were going to do. And then when I asked about it, then they lied to me and then they didn't follow through. At some point, it has to come down to someone has to take responsibility for this. If I'm supposed to tell my clients, you're paying more for a Disney experience because it's a luxury cruise line with impeccable guest services, then damn it, they got to deliver it. So, when you're mad, and when you're disappointed or upset, you stop seeing the good.
And you called Jordan.
Yes. And then we have sunken treasures together. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Well,
But
Dave,
what
what do you
happens
think?
is you start to look. Dude, I'm drinking
Like,
root beer. Like I'm literally drinking root beer. Um, you start to look at it for what it is. The first time I got on the boat, I was so scared. I couldn't absorb it all. The second time I got on the boat, it was 5 nights, and I had an epic time. I leaned into that experience, and it was so much fun. We didn't want to go back to the room, but that's a different story. The third time, I'm looking forward to this. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Number one, don't book a 3 night Disney cruise. It's a waste. You will not feel like you got everything accomplished. You will feel as if you are overwhelmed. You will not get to everything, and you will feel as if you were cheated. I guarantee it. I've been on the Wish twice, both times. You guys heard me sit there and say, I never even made it to half the boat last time. I'm still not sure I saw the whole boat this time.
no,
We finally
probably
made
not.
it. We finally made it to the hyperspace lounge, which, by the way, is a hole in the wall that has no markings. If Jen didn't tell me where it was, I've walked past it 10 times. I had no idea. So, if you can avoid a 3 night, I don't know about the 4 nights because I haven't done one. Jordan has, but I've never done it. I've never done it. But I'm going to tell you right now, spend the extra money, go on the 4 nights if you're going to go. My experience is not always going to be your experience, but buyer beware. They don't care. And if they don't care about me, I'm a travel agent who lives an hour and 15 minutes from port, and I've been on 3 cruises in 4 months. They may not care about you either.
And I
So,
think even to touch on that real quick, Dave, too, and that way, I guess everyone has a good understanding. leading up to this Wish one as well too. I think with you, like you and I combined together, we were on the phone with DCL for what, 25 hours,
We
if
spent
not more. And even during this process, even before Dave got on the cruise, and even while he was on the cruise, I was messaging the big boss for guest services for DCL, as well as one of the executive guest correspondents with Disney Cruise Line as well. Well, even while Dave was on the cruise, I was constantly on my phone. Even while I was on FaceTime with him, I was on my phone trying to get all this stuff figured out and try and get it taken care of. They were responding, and then in the back end doing whatever they can do. Now, one of them is going to get done next week because that particular person's on vacation, not back till Sunday. But it shouldn't take that long to get what needed to be addressed.
it's so minor. And here's the point. Once this snowball started, and Jordan will tell you how many times I said, I'm not asking for unreasonable things. I was asking for things that they could comp that were essentially free to them. And
Now, I do love your one request.
I did have one request that was a little out there. I wanted to drive the boat. And that was not well received by anybody. I don't think anyone thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. I just wanted a picture like at the wheel and like to low rider. I thought it would be great. Plus, I could have done, Sail the Shimmering Seas, and I could have been dancing behind the wheel and doing my whole thing. But they didn't find it funny. But my requests were for stupid things like the masks, the internet, the magic bands. Like these were things that doesn't cost Disney anything. At this point, I've had 3 bad experiences. I can't trust them with and let me tell you this, because this is something I forgot to tell you guys. I was in the cruise booking agent on the phone when I got hung up on, looking at a cruise for Jen's birthday for an Eastern Caribbean tour on the Fantasy, which is a $6,000 cruise. I told Jordan my goal by the beginning of the year was to be gold. That's your 6th cruise. I've been on 3, 2 more. My 6th one would have been Jen's birthday. We were looking at either a Halloween and possibly a New Year's Eve cruise or something along those lines, something that would have been epic. I've wiped it all out. And and let me tell you something. It's very disheartening for somebody who loves Disney. But then I started to focus on the Disney. What about the boat is Disney? What about the island is Disney? So let's back up for a second, because here's where I take you guys for a little spin. There is no Disney on the boat. There's no Disney on the island. What is Disney? Many of you will say it's theme park rides, it's attractions, it's shows, it's food, it's an experience. Well, I've asked this question about 50,000 times and I can't get an answer. Why do the characters take a break? They're inside. There's got to be 50 people that could interchange these outfits. You don't ever see them. They're out at specific times, like 2 or 3 times a day, and that's it. Where are they? So once the characters are no longer in the atrium and you're walking around, there's a bronze statue of Cinderella and Lucifer. That's it. You're walking down the hallways. There's round portals. Why aren't they Mickey shaped? There's pictures maybe up of this or that. But let me paint you a different experience. Why is it when I'm going to my cabin and I'm on the Little Mermaid deck, why doesn't it look like I'm under the sea? Why doesn't it look like when I walk into my room like I'm staying in like a 1970s Miami like bunker and there's like bubbles on the wall and Sebastian's painted there? I understand they're trying to go for luxury grace and everything else. There's a picture over your room. I'm telling you, it's an excuse. It's crap. Nothing in the room is Disney. The bedspread isn't Disney. The couch isn't Disney. There's no hidden Mickeys. There's none of it. It's not there. You're sitting out on your balcony. You could be sitting on a Carnival cruise ship and paid $300 a person. You would never know the difference. So when you go to dining, okay, there's a couple of screens on the wall. Paul Rudd jumps up there. Hey, there he is. There comes Spider-Man for 6 minutes. 6 minutes out of an hour and a half meal, Spider-Man comes out. Okay, cool. You go to Arendelle. There's a show. I'll give you that. There's a show. However, the last 2 cruises, and I didn't even mention this, on the Magic, they stuck me in between the kitchen and the wait staff. So they were constantly over my head with dishes. Jen said about 5 times, I almost got hit in the head with a tray. On this cruise,
Did you not go back and cook your own dinner, or
I tried to. They didn't like it.
Yeah.
On this cruise, and this is no joke, and I got the video to post. If they had sat me 2 feet further to the left, I could have refilled my own drink on the drink station. They did it again. Now, the best part is, I put in a special request that said I wanted to be near the stage, I didn't want to sit with another family, and it was my anniversary. We never were treated with our anniversary little cake they're supposed to bring you out. They stuck me in the bathroom, and they pretty much threw things at me. So, where's the Disney? If you go to the adult section, there's none at all. They have Disney playing up on the Jumbotron when you're out on the deck. Whoop-de-doo! Try and find a Dole Whip. Good luck.
And I want to just one thing real quick here, Dave.
Yeah.
Is that so? JT, I got involved because I look at Dave as a brother. I look at Dave as a brother. I mean, I would do this for anyone, really. Even the last cruise that we were on together, like the FP one back in April, I jumped in on that one there too, only because I know Disney Cruise Line. I know the systems, but it's what I would do for anybody, right? So for me to be able to jump in and help out, I would definitely do that. Again, with anyone in a heartbeat. That's just my human nature, and that's just how that's just how I am.
You guys don't understand how upset he got, because Jordan doesn't experience what I experienced. When Jordan asks for something, because and it's not just because he's platinum, but it's a good portion of it. When they see his lanyard and they realize he's a platinum, it's yes, sir. Plus, hell, half the people know him. Like, you're walking around the boat and they're like, what's up, Jordan? And they're high-fiving him. It's like, holy crap.
High fives and hugs and pictures.
You got it. And so he had a different experience. And I said, Jordan, I thought in some parts I was like, he's not sure that this is really what's going on. That, like, either I'm chewing him out or something. And he got on the phone. He's like, I've never been treated like this. And I'm like, dude, this is how I get treated. And
I talked to one of the same supervisors that Dave did. So what a lot of people don't know is that I made a couple calls and I talked to Dave first. I'm like, hey, are you okay if I make this phone call? And then I can bring you in on FaceTime, whatever. And I made those calls. I got the same manager that Dave actually got.
An hour later.
Yeah. And I was actually appalled at the way that the conversation was handled. Like, I was absolutely like, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. I made another call the Thursday morning. Yeah, the Thursday morning. Before you guys got on the cruise. I called again.
You gotta read what Captain Tuttle just put in. Elon Musk calls Jordan for advice.
I did not give advice about buying Twitter. Just say that.
Now, Christy, you don't understand how true that is, because when the schmuck who was booking the FPE trip screwed up, Jordan jumped in, never got paid for it, never got anything for it, just did it and got past it. With this, you could tell he took this personally, and he did. And he jumped in, and it was, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're probably still surprised that nothing happened on that boat.
I'm shocked.
Nothing happened.
I'm shocked. And I think one of the things I know that when we deal with the next person, like the executive guest correspondent, who I've actually built that relationship with and having great conversations with her, and she's aware of part of the situation that's going on. Even from the previous cruise, she's versed in some of the stuff with this last one. Is she versed with all of it? Not yet, but I know that I work with, Dave drafted up an email. It was fantastic. It was a great email. I gave him a couple little things to add in there as well too, and that way he could send it off. And we know that this particular individual is not going to be available until next week. So, but I called and I spoke to another supervisor the Thursday before they got on the ship. I made a point of telling that supervisor, and out of all the ones I spoke to, she was the best. I will say that right now. Um, and then same thing when we called in and talked to the main the frontline cast members that answer the phone. They were fantastic to talk to on the phone. Um, there's a lot of knowledge that this manager divulged to me that probably shouldn't have, but she did.
I agree.
And I appreciate the fact that she did it. And it really questioned to the fact that when Dave was having these conversations with two of the other managers, I was shocked. In my mind, if you're a manager working for a cruise line or in a supervisory role, you want to know what? You should have already been on a cruise for that said cruise line to actually be able to help support the guests better. That wasn't in this case whatsoever. Two of them have not even been on a Disney cruise yet. They ain't going until next year. So again, me being being on as many as I have, I question some of the staffing that they have that can help answer these questions that guests are going to be asking. Whether it's the front line, whether it's a manager, or even if it's coming from the web support team. There was a lot of broken things here, and that's why I had to take the next step. And I sent off those emails that I sent off to the people that I knew that I had to get them to. But I got to talk to Dave first. That way, at least he knew what I wanted to do. But I didn't want to do it, though, until I got the green light from Dave and Jen first.
So, Captain Tuttle, to answer your question, this is still ongoing. And that's why I waited till Friday. I was trying to see, we got off the boat on Monday. We typically do this on Wednesday. We had some streams to make up, and I was like, let's see if anything shakes out. I haven't even heard from anybody, which, again, I'm not expecting it. To be perfectly honest with you, when you're the forgotten customer, and I encourage all of you, if you're in guest services, read the book, because you'll never treat people the way I was just treated. Nobody wants to be treated the way I was just treated, especially for the thousands of dollars I spent. Thousands that I spent. And I love cruising. I love what we do. I love doing this. If I could go move onto a boat tomorrow, I would. It wouldn't be a Disney boat. So let's move forward for a minute. I said there's no Disney on the boat. Let's talk about Castaway. Castaway is gorgeous. But there's no Disney. It's underwater, if you can find it. I snorkeled to it. My back's got the sunburn to prove it. But when you're walking around, there's no characters. They're only out in the beginning of the day. Why? Because it gets too hot and they don't have character meet and greets. But there's very few places you will find Disney stuff. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful island. It will give you the tropical feel you're looking for. You can sit back and relax. But I walked off the boat, and as I was sashaying down the concrete towards the island, I was listening to Jimmy Buffett. Why am I not listening to Sebastian the Crab singing Red, Red Wine on steel drums? Why am I not immersed in Disney on a Disney island? Why am I not seeing Pirates of the Caribbean boat swinging back and forth with actors and all kinds of stuff? Why am I not seeing Disney theatrical shows on the island? Why do you have to leave at 4:45? Why don't they immerse you in some other things? I don't feel like the value per dollar is there. My personal opinion, I'm going to get it out of the way. And now let me tell you why I came to that conclusion. It's not just the problems. Every company has problems. It's how you handle them that define you. They may come out of this and do something to win me back. And I'm open to it because I want them to. Disney, if you're watching, I'm open to it. But you're going to have to dig deep this time. Before, you could have fixed this by fixing my navigator. By comping a couple of things just to make me feel good, I'd have felt fantastic. Now, you're going to have to dig. Why? Because since this has happened this week, I became certified by Royal Caribbean, by MSC. I'm working on 3 other cruise lines right now. And as I took the Royal Caribbean cruise test and certification and classes, you know what I found out? I started to look at the FPE meetup for April and May. We're going on Royal. And I said, what if we went on Disney for 6 nights? We're at sea 4 days. Let's say 3 days. What would the FPE meetup be for those 3 days? What would we do as a group of 15, 18, 20 people? What would we do?
I know.
And Jordan and I, we'd be drinking. I know. We're all going shot for shot with Jordan and seeing if he can still stand. But
good luck.
They don't have. Let me list a couple of things that are on certain ships with Royal: bumper cars, escape rooms, laser tag, skydiving, rock walls, go-karts, putt-putt, ice skating, Broadway shows. Oh, by the way, wait till you see their island. Their island has the tallest single at-sea land-based water slide in the world. Now, a lot of things are a la carte. I'll give you that. But they're available to you if you want to buy them. Oh, so remember that. Yeah, ziplining. Thank you. Remember that 7-night cruise I was looking at for Jen's birthday? It was about $6,300. When I looked at it for Royal, it was half. It was less than half. Same room, almost the same, almost the exact same itinerary. But there was way more to do. What's that?
Oh boy, Sam's here. Oh boy.
Behave, Sam. So the difference in the cruise lines is astronomical. Now let me go ahead and tell you, I looked at one for MSC. Disney, $6,300. MSC, $2,000. All in, taxes, Wi-Fi, ship, balcony. Come on, $2,000. It's a third of the price. Here's the difference. MSC is kind of like when you cut your cable. If you sat there and said, oh, I'm no longer going to have cable, I'm going to buy the things that I want to buy. That's what MSC is. They give you a buffet and a main dining every day. If you want to do any other dining, you got to pay for it. I looked at a cruise the other night. Jordan was sitting there with me. $189. 3 nights down to the Bahamas. That's under $1,000 for the 3 of us to go away for a weekend. To go down there, they park at their island. Their island is a marine reserve. Their lighthouse is interactive with their DJ station so that the lighthouse, the exterior LED lights actually flash with the music at night. How do I know this? Because the boat docks overnight and you stay at their island overnight. You can party until like midnight. Then you got to get back on the boat and then you can get back off the boat. There's a lot more out there. And I can tell you right now, the explorers are going to go exploring cruise ships. I might not have been so excited to go check out other boats. I might have been like Jordan. Jordan has never been on another cruise line. He's been on 17 Disney cruises, with 18 and 19 coming. I'm not telling you that as explorers, as a group, that we're not going to do the treasure. What the community decides is what we will do. If you guys want to go, I will go. Why? Because you are what matters.
I'll put Dave in the Doom buggy and I'll wheel him on.
I'll surf.
Yeah.
So what you guys want as a community is what we want. But personally, if I'm not going with an FPE group, I'm going to go explore. I want to go see what MSC has to offer. I want to see a Royal Caribbean. I want to see my kid go into Discovery, it's like the Discovery Channel. That's the kids club. On MSC, it's Legos. Um, Sam would be sitting in Legos with his kid. He wouldn't even get out of there. He'd be sitting in there building like a skyscraper. But they all have private islands. They all go to the same place. But what's my experience going to be dollar for dollar? $3,000-4,000 on Disney, 1,500 to 2,000 with someone else. What is my experience going to be when I can take 2 cruises to 1? What is my experience going to be when there's 1 show per day on a Disney cruise that's opposite your seating of your dinner, or go-karts, laser tag, escape room, Broadway show? What's my experience going to be? Because right now I'm sitting here going, good luck, Disney. You got to really dig deep, knowing the fact that they haven't met my minimum requirement. And I expect them to not only meet my minimum, but exceed it. I'm going 1,300 Canadian with NSC, Marine, Coast Cruise, balcony, 10 days. See, that's what I'm talking about, Jonathan. Thanks for calling me. I appreciate you. Jonathan, you're dead to me.
Can we say Jonathan?
Good luck winning another contest ever. So, the thing is, once you put your experience under a microscope, it's bad. Because even the best experience has issues. Look at the experience we talked about on the Wish in April. The boat broke down, but we had an exceptional time because of the people we were with, because the attitude we chose to have. Disney didn't compensate us. They didn't compensate us. What?
Deck 11, at 11, on the Lido.
See you, Lido. Click. No, sorry. But we chose to have that experience. And if it wasn't for all of us sitting at that table, just getting to know each other, chit-chatting outside of it, what would our experience would have been like? It would have been like the 28 people that came in our chat afterwards and said they ruined it. Now, let me tell you, did they ruin my vacation? Actually, they did. Why? Because I was constantly at guest services. I was constantly having to deal with this. There was always something as a reminder of it. Plus, we had 2 issues in the room. Were they the end of the world? No. But this was my experience. Look, I'm going to say this to you guys. I encourage you, go out and experience the world for yourself. Just because I had 3 crappy cruises with them, let me rephrase that. I didn't have bad cruises. I had bad experiences. I had a boat breakdown. That sucked. I had a nasty, disgusting couch that made the room smell. That's bad, but the cruise was great. Food was mediocre, but the cruise was great. The Wish, the food was phenomenal. The service that we got on the boat was exceptional. The guest services and the technology failed. So I had 3 different sets of bad things. I mean, maybe I got them all out of the way and we'll never have another problem. But I'm not willing to give them that chance because it's not an affordable cruise line. And they haven't made it up to me yet. They might. They might. But if they don't, I won't. Because I can't trust them. They're not good stewards with my money. I may go on Royal Caribbean and have a similar experience, but for half the money, I might overlook some or all of it.
Yeah. And you and I were talking earlier where my parents and my sister were on a Regent Seven Seas cruise a number of years ago.
Yeah.
She broke down in Brazil. One of the generators had failed, and the ship only had 2 generators. So legally, they're not allowed to sail unless they have both of them functioning. So one had to be flown in on an airplane. They were stuck in port for 4 days, where they couldn't go anywhere. Or, I mean, they could get off the ship and go shopping or do that sort of thing. They set up different excursions that they could do on land. They were given, each person was given a 25% off a future cruise. Plus, they did a couple other things as well, too. Keep in mind, Regent Seven Seas is an adult cruise, so you're looking at your 18 plus. I think it is to get on those ones. I got to double check, but um, they were treated absolutely fantastic when they were on there, and they had the constant communication of what was going on. So that's one of the things that make a difference. I had an experience. Well, I was on the Wish November of last year. We didn't per se have any major. Well, actually, no, we had an electrical issue. Our light beside the bed was a strobe light.
I had that in the
The
bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. The dimmer switch wiring had fried. So what they do? Electrician came up within 5 minutes after me placing the phone call. He came up. I turned it off. Do I need to have it on? No, I don't. Right? I didn't need to have it on. There's a lot of lights inside the room. Electrician looked at it, but at the time of the night, he came back the next day with a brand new light fixture. We set a time and he replaced the light fixture, no problem, done deal. He apologized, I think, 10 times for the inconvenience of him having to come back, that the light had to be replaced, and so on and so forth. Right? So that I felt was handled very, very well. I got on the Disney Fantasy just right after that one. And I got to tell you, I found that there was a substantial difference in service. Where the Wish had better, when I was on that one, the Wish had better service, whereas the Fantasy, not quite there, and the food wasn't up to par as what was on the Wish. We had some issues on there; they got dealt with. My son and I both had medical issues afterwards. That was all taken care of. The Wish one this time around in April, we had more issues again, and I've chatted with them, with everyone before. Dave is well versed with it as well too. They took care of it, and that was one of the reasons why I got in contact with this one executive guest correspondent with DCL, is to help through these issues and concerns, and the guest service, the guest service and the customer service that was not there. That's when they jump in to help out, and that way to see what they can do to make sure they can rectify the issue. Obviously, can they make what happened, disappear? No, unfortunately not. They can only help with, obviously, with something moving forward. But when I'm messaging the big boss for DCL guest services, the first thing out of their mouth was, "This is unacceptable, and this is not Disney Cruise Line." She was appalled. Well, I guess I just kind of blew it. Whoops.
The biggest thing about it though is and I want to point out the glaring differences. Jordan had problems, but they rectified them. They dealt with them, and they treated him with respect. I'm not through this yet. Okay, didn't happen overnight for Jordan on all of the stuff that he's talking about. It took some time to resolve, and I'm willing to give Disney the opportunity to do it. For those of you who are dropping the comments in, let me make it really easy for you. The cruise isn't the problem. It's not the cruise. It's who's running it. Here's where I go off on a tangent for 5 seconds. Disney is having all kinds of problems. Whether it be the new Seven Dwarfs movie that it doesn't have any dwarfs in it, and Snow White isn't in love and it's a disaster, or some of the other movies that they've released, whether it's cutting back guest experience in the park, and because people are just happy to be back in Disney, they're not complaining about not having trams at all 4 parks, or the lack of stage shows or parades, or some of the things that we have just willingly given up because of it. Portion sizes have decreased while prices have increased. They're taking an absolute beating on Disney Plus, including raising your rate. Disney is experiencing a lot of problems right now, and it's showing. So I will say this to you. It's not the cruise ship. Now, the Black Pearl, that should bother everybody. Let me tell you something. If they knowingly are putting people out there and not adequately compensating them when they know that the cruise ship wasn't ready to go and they're doing it as they're moving along, that's a problem.
Yeah. And to boot, the Disney Wish was delayed multiple times to
Yeah.
ensure that they could make sure it was ready. And
And it
that's
wasn't.
why, no, and that's why, and I'll tell you this, and that's why you have not heard anything yet in regards to the release date of the Disney Treasure and that itinerary. So you'll notice that it will be added, and I'm guessing maybe April the 30th when they do. Sorry, August the 30th when they do their grand reveal. I have a feeling that's a date that you're probably going to find out when it's being released. Um, and it's being delayed in ensuring things are done properly because of what has happened on the Wish.
Which which makes sense. And like Theo just put in, they are self-inflicted, and it's from bad leadership. Leadership from top down does not understand Walt's vision anymore. Can you imagine if Walt Disney were alive today? Huh?
Top down, bottoms up. Sorry,
Exactly. It's a top
I
down,
couldn't.
bottom up problem.
Yeah.
So if Walt were still with us today and he were looking at the problems and what they were trying to do, it is not it's not about politics. We're not. That's why on the channel we don't discuss it. We don't discuss religion and politics. Why? Because it's about Disney. It's supposed to be about entertainment, about fun, family values. It's supposed to be about letting it all go to the wayside and having a place to escape. It's not about an employee's right to show tattoos on their arm when a 6-year-old walks up and goes, I don't understand why there's a skull and crossbones wrapped around a naked lady on your forearm. I'm sorry, I don't pay $6,000 to go on vacation for your fantasy. I go pay $6,000 for mine. And Disney's lost their way. And it's going to take people not doing certain things or complaining the way that I am. Because as a business owner, I sit here and say, if nobody complains, you can't get any better because you think you're doing it right. Disney, you're not doing it right. You're going to have to earn me back. And I make fun of Carnival. We all do. We make fun of Carnival a lot. But you know what? Carnival's got drug dogs on their boats right now. They have hired security staff to arrest people for fighting. If you fight, you get kicked off the boat and you're arrested at the next port. They're not screwing around anymore because their brand has taken a hit. And it's going to take them 4 or 5 years to show everybody, you know what, we're serious about it, and to clean their act up and get rid of some of the old boats and bring in some new ones, and to show people that they're to be a force to be reckoned with again. But Disney, in my opinion, is declining. And it's their own doing because the people on board care. Our servers on all 3 boats cared. They wanted our experience to be amazing. And when I complained, piss, bitched, and moaned, they cared. They did everything that they could. And they have limited ability, especially as a server. But they could make my experience. I'm going to tell you the funniest thing that if you weren't on the boat, you wouldn't know this. The last night at 1923, when we just got off the boat, I'd asked them I wanted pansier scallops to go with the fillet. And he was like, I forgot, crap. They ran over to another kitchen a deck away, got my scallops, and brought them. Now, that's not the funny part. The funny part is they undercooked them. And so when they came to the table, I felt bad because I wanted to eat them, and I was like, I can't eat these. So I waited for my server to walk away, and I got Mavis. And I said, I can't tell Sam that these are undercooked. He tried so hard to get heat. So she took them in back and had them flashed so that they were cooked all the way through. And she brought them back, and Sam sees them and goes, what are those? And I said, I liked them so much, she brought me more. And it was because I didn't want him to feel like he had let me down. Because he didn't. He got my scallops, he got them over, and he brought me 12 of them, which, like, if you've ever eaten 12 scallops, that's a lot of food. Especially after you ate 2 fillets.
Oh,
And you're getting ready for dessert. So and let me tell you this, anybody who's not been on a cruise, there's nothing in the world like it. If you haven't been, you're missing out. If you
and
think
that's why
it's
I'm on
us,
so many.
Yeah, if you think it's us that's on the losing end of this, you're wrong. You are. Come join us. I guarantee you, if you sail the shimmering seas with us, you're going to have a great time. Um, not every experience is bad. Don't you give me that copyright. Don't you dare play it. So I will say this to you. I'm going to go on an MSC. I'm going to go on a Royal. I'm going to tell you guys my honest opinion about that, because the one thing that you can always guarantee from us is that you're going to get our honest truth. You're going to get the way I see it. It can only be from the way that I see it. That's why I'm telling you, don't not book a Disney cruise because I'm sitting here telling you of bad experiences I've had. What I'm telling you is don't book under 4 nights. I would book 5 nights or more. Why? Because you're going to relax and enjoy yourself, because you're going to immerse yourself. Is it luxurious? Yes. There are very great aspects of the boat that I enjoyed tremendously. If anybody was with us Saturday morning when I did my live stream, the guy who made my coffee became my best friend. I probably walked up to him about 40 times in 2 days. He made the best coffee in the world. And I could go sit anywhere, and I had my frozen frappuccino, and I was in the adult section. I had a blast. It was a stupendous time.
Michael's comment is so true. Sorry.
What's that?
Comment is so true. Michael's comment is so true. When Dave was asked what he would like for dinner, he said yes.
I told everybody that the menu is a suggestion, and it is a suggestion. Get what you want. Now, buyer beware on that as well, because a lot of cruise ships for that second plate are now charging $5 a plate. So make sure you check with your travel agent and find out. So, guys, look. Every experience is what you make of it. I was already pissed because of what they did. If I didn't want the Magic Bands or the Disney Bands, none of this ever would have happened. We would have went on the boat. We would have gotten off. I would have told you I had an excellent time, because none of the bad experiences would have happened. They all happened before I got on the boat. And then they overshadowed it. Did you get an extra shot in the coffee? I did. Actually, it was a double shot of espresso inside the frozen frappuccino.
4 shots. 4.
Actually, that's true on the last day. So, Sarah L., what's happening? And that's the thing, everybody's experience is going to be different. And if you were on a cruise 5 years ago, your experience 5 years ago is not the same as today. A lot has changed in a lot of different ways. No matter whether you were at the parks 5 years ago versus today, it's different. Whether you were at a hotel 5 years ago, the experience today is different. And the same is true with cruising. It's not fair for me to sit there and say, don't go on Disney. They're crap. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I had these experiences. And even though I had them, the Wish was still fun because of the people we were with. The Magic was still epic, even though my daughter's sofa was disgusting. The Wish this time was fun, even though it was completely overshadowed for me and weighed on my mind 24 hours a day for 3 days. I didn't get a vacation. I'm pissed about the fact that they took my vacation from me that I paid for. And that's where the problem that I have with Disney comes in. Had they have left everything alone, sometimes it's okay. Do nothing. Sometimes the best response to somebody is to do nothing. Let it go. Be Elsa about it. They could have just said, you know what? We don't have to adjust his reservation. Let's get him the damn Magic Bands. This problem never happened. They're fun. Disney's got issues. I bet you Royal does too. I bet you MSC does, because I've talked to my coach who sat there and said, Royal's great, but it has its moments. You know, where you think you can go do something and you can't because you don't have the right status on the boat. For Jordan, and Jordan and I have talked about this, he's gone on 17 cruises. He bought his status through years of travel with Disney. However, on MSC, I can buy club level right off the bat, first cruise out. I can get a suite, cost me $6,000. I'm going to have my own butler. They're going to take me on the boat. They're going to take me up so that I don't have to wait. It's express check-in. As soon as my room is ready, they're going to take me down there. walk me from the club level with drinks and food all the way to my room. There's one butler for 2 rooms. They'll unpack my stuff if I want them to. Room service 24 hours a day by them. You don't see any other attendants. They take care of you. They take you to seating at dinner. They hold your seats for you for shows. Whatever you want, you go to your butler service and they will take care of you. And I can buy that on the first cruise. So it is possible to buy a la carte what you want. And that's rare because most cruise lines don't allow that. You have to cruise enough to gain status. And MSC is smart about it because you can pay for the experience that you want.
I
So
know
I'm
who your
excited
butlers
about
are
that.
going to be.
Huh?
I know who your butlers are going to be. AAU and Sammy Sam.
It'd be AAU, except I got to make him wear a shirt. So
You could just paint a tie on him.
he's our onshore butler, so that this way he doesn't have to wear a shirt. But that's the point though is it's you know, and Jill just put in about the 50 cruise status thing. I got to be honest with you, I think it's an insult. I read the
Yeah.
article and I actually sat there and I was like, you know what? That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And it's because I'm a little bitter right now. I'm not going to tell you I'm not bitter. Of course I am. I would be a freaking robot not to sit there and say I've been on 3 cruises and I've been kicked in 3 times. I don't like it. That's why they got to dig deep now. Because at this point, I'm not impressed. Are all the Disney ships lacking in characters and theming? In my opinion, yes. I've been on 2 different boats, and I can only tell you about the Wish and the Magic, the oldest and the newest. And you want to know something? I felt the same way on both boats. When I look through my photos and I look through my things, I don't see Disney. I do when the characters are standing there, but again, why are they not just free roaming the ship? The best interaction I had is a short. You can go over to the other channel. I think it's on this one too. It's with Captain Hook. Both times.
Mm-hmm.
Both times I interacted with this time I didn't see him. Could not find him. But let me tell you something. On the Magic and on the Wish, the 2 best interactions I had were with Captain Hook. It was incredible. Look, I'm a Disney person through and through. I own half of their Disney merch, whether it's onshore, offshore, I don't care. I mean, this is 1/4 of my shelving unit, and it's 4 deep. That's not counting the 13 lithographs that I have sitting over here. And all of the other things. I mean, Jen laughs. My closet, we were trying to figure out what to wear to go out the other day. And we weren't going to Disney. And I said, I don't have anything to wear. I love Disney. I want them to do better. But you guys have to know, as a lot of you have never been, or are thinking of going, or are planning on going, buyer beware. You may not get what you pay for. And I don't want you to sit there and say, but Bear Shark said, no. Bear Shark said to you right now, Disney's got problems. They may fix them. They may get better, but I guarantee you they got to go through the darkness to come through to the light. Everybody does. I don't think they're any different. I'm sorry that Jordan had to sit here for an hour and a half and listen to me pontificate, but at the same time, I warned him. I did.
Just a few times.
I told you.
Once, twice.
So,
But I think what and part of it why I wanted to be here as well too is because I went through a lot of this with you on the back end in the phone calls that were made and you sharing your experiences of what was going on. And I got to tell everybody that Dave and I chatted on FaceTime every day when we were on the cruise.
except the last day because I couldn't.
That's right. Right. So, you know, and I, again, like I said earlier, I'm all about trying to do what I can to help anybody that I possibly can, especially if I've done it already and I know who the contacts are. I will jump in and help as much as I possibly can within the limitations that I have, because obviously they won't disclose everything. But I'm happy I was there so I could try and do as much as I could to try and help.
I can tell you this for a fact. I would not be as high up the food chain if it wasn't for Jordan. That's a fact. Because they shut me down and they said, I don't care. Now, if Jordan hadn't gotten involved, at some point there's a news blip, whether it's on WDW or on national news. Cruise passenger goes irate. Security must restrain him. I would have flipped out on the boat. There's no doubt in my mind. I definitely. Thank you, Tuttle. I can tell you that I would have been standing there screaming, not to mention the fact that I did run into the captain because people told me where he was. If you don't think that if this wasn't being worked on, that I wouldn't have said something to him, you're all out of your minds. The one thing that I've always been told is that there are a lot of times that I speak before I ever have thought it through, and that is a fact. There are way too many times that I open my mouth and say, I really shouldn't have said that. I mean, I identify with Hagrid in such a way I cannot even begin to tell you. Speaking of which, when they come out with that Harry Potter cruise, I'll be on the inaugural. Why? Because I don't think that they're going to let us down. I think that they're going to have so much theming on that boat that you literally, if you don't show up in robes, they're not going to let you on the boat.
That's probably a good possibility, yeah.
I mean, look at the last epic failure from Disney, Galactic Star Cruiser. Why did somebody not say, hey, wait, let's just do a boat that's Star Wars themed? Because, I don't know, there's 50 years of Star Wars fans out there, and I would imagine that they're going to want to be on the boat. Or, how about half the boat? How about something? Anyway, look, this is my experience. It's not your experience. It may not even be the experience you have. You may know somebody who sat there and said, I don't know what he's talking about. They had an epic time. Maybe they didn't know any better. Maybe they didn't have this issue. The people we were sitting at the table with didn't buy Magic Bands because they couldn't get through. They went through the loop. So they just gave up. Is that a great experience? No. But you know what? They didn't seem to mind. It bothered the hell out of me. I wanted my merch. I wanted my stuff. For everybody who was on the boat in April, how did you feel about all of the merch being back on the boat that we couldn't buy? Now, it was on the boat. You guys saw it. I showed it to you. How does it feel that you can't get what you want? Especially when I said to them, why is there not like a website portal where you put in your reservation after you've cruised and you should be able to buy anything that they have for your boat? If you wanted to buy anything on the Wish, you should have been able to buy it. 25th anniversary merch should have been available. It's stupid. I bought this hat for $7.99 at Character Warehouse. I tried to buy it on the boat in April. It was $35. Thanks, Disney. Appreciate you. Good looking out. I don't get it. There's no reason to beat this horse to death. It was to tell you guys about the experience. I'm sure certain things have been left out. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. And at the end of the day, this was what we went through. We will be doing. What's up, buddy? We will be doing something different in the future. I'm not sure if Royal or MSC is coming up next, but one of them will be in the next 40 days, followed by the other one within 40 days of that. So we're going to be going on these regularly, especially since my agency likes to give us reasons to go. And to help us get there so that we can better tell you about our experiences, which if your travel agent has not been where you're going, what the hell are you booking with them for? To find out that there are certain people at DCL, Disney Cruise Line, that are in guest services that have never been on a cruise, how dare they? Because how can they possibly help me? The same thing here. I may not know every boat from Disney, but I know the two that I went on, and I know that there's going to be similar experiences, and I know how Disney boats run. I may not be an expert, but my eyes are open, and I'm not going to tell you that my experience is your experience. My experience was mine. And by the way, I had a great time. Don't get lost on the fact that there were issues. Watching my daughter explode over the last 4 months has been some of the best moments of my life. The best job I have is being dad. The rest of it doesn't matter. None of this matters. But when I watched her go down the slide on the Magic, when I watched her go on the Aquamouse by herself, when I've watched her flourish and turn into an amazing young lady, that is what gets me here. The rest of it doesn't matter. My daughter had an epic time. My wife needed a break. She needed to relax and just unplug.
And if I may say, Dave, I had the opportunity to see how much fun Bella was actually having on the cruises, and to see how excited she was, the laughter that she had, the excitement in her voice when she was talking about whether it was something at the kids club, whether it was, you know, the Aquamos or whatever it was. Hearing that, I can tell you right now, the bear shark was one hell of a happy dad to hear that and to see it. That's what makes the adventures memorable, is when you have those. My son's 20. Tell you that right now. And he loves it just as much as I do. So from a dad, I can definitely say I've seen it, and it's nothing but an absolute phenomenal memory that will never go away.
And the thing is, when you're someone like me who I don't do what we do, I don't work as hard as we work for me. I don't do this for me. I do this for them. I want the best for her. I want the best for my wife. My wife works her butt off. She's an amazing woman. She has 100% of my support at all times. And I wanted them to experience something, and I couldn't make it happen. And from my perspective, that was frustrating as hell. Because and my frustration came out because it was like, how dare you take that experience from them? But you know what? As I said to Jordan before, and I'll say it to all of you, I didn't let it ruin my trip. Did it bother me the whole time? Did it sit over my shoulder? Did it take away some of the experience? Yeah, it did. But I still got to go to the Bahamas. I still got to go to Castaway. I got to experience their snorkeling and go see all the things under the water and see my daughter put on a snorkel mask and give it a shot and tell me, hey, I want to do this, so that we could go get her the right classes so that she can go snorkeling with me next time, potentially getting Patty certified and going scuba diving with her father. Those memories will last my entire life and all of hers, and that's what we're working towards. The experiences will come and go. The bad times, I hope, will not outweigh the good. I hope that Disney does the right thing. But if they don't, there's plenty of other cruises out there. Don't let one thing diminish the capacity. For those people out there that have a problem with cruising, I did. I was petrified. Now you can't get me off the damn things. I may wind up losing every penny I have going cruising. I love it. Go out and challenge yourself. If you need help, that's what we're here for. Hire a travel agent. We're one. I'll fight tooth and nail for you. I may not know what to do, but I know the people to get to. We'll always be there to work for you. We'll always help you through it. And from the clients that I'm working with, you guys know I don't force people to book. We take our time. We make sure it's right. It's why we were late coming on tonight, because I sat there and I said, don't rush this. It'll be there tomorrow. It'll be there tomorrow. And we're going to book it. And we're going to get you square. We want the experience to be right, not rushed. It's not about the money. It's about the experience. It's the way I look at it. Jordan, you have been an amazing godsend that has helped us for months and months and months. And you do it without asking for anything. Your friendship has been amazing. You have helped all of us get through the first wish. You helped me get through the Magic and through this one, and you'll help me with the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. Guys, all that I ask is that you share his channel out. He hit 275 on his subscriber count. Let's get him to 300. And then to milestones beyond. He's an amazing partner channel, an amazing friend. He's become family. And whether he wants to or not. And As it goes with all the partner channels, I selected 3 great people. One who gives every single day of his life, never asks for anything from you, is Mike Wheeler. He never asks for anything from any of you. Go subscribe to his channel. Help him get to 1,000. Share him out. Mike's an amazing content creator. Many of you probably don't know that Mike can't see, and yet he's creating content regularly. That should impress you, because it impresses the crap out of me. What he's able to do and the way that he gives back to this community is amazing. He is incredible. Guys,
It's because he's always watching, Dave. He's always watching.
He's always watching. Guys, take the time. Get to know them. Get to know their channels. Share them out and help them grow. Watch Sam hit 10K this year, because he's going to do it pretty quick, because he's the best sports broadcaster out there. Go support these guys. They're amazing content creators. I hold them dear. And all I'm asking is go check them out. Give them some watch time. Give them some love. If you think this is not typical for Jordan, this is what he does every day. And he was fighting his own personal battles while doing this. When we were on the Magic, he had brain surgery. The first thing he asked me was, how was my trip? Who the hell does that? Who the hell does that? I'm like, yo, I'm calling from the cruise ship. Are you okay? He's like, how's your trip going? I was like, didn't you just get out of surgery? He goes, yeah, I want to know what's going on with the boat. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Guys, I appreciate you more than you know. Partner channels, you guys are the best. We're done for the week, everybody. We're done for the week. We will be back next week over on the flagship channel. We will be at Character Warehouse, Universal, Disney, you name it, we're going to it. We're going to start pumping out some streams again next week. Not less than 7, not more than 10, but we're going to rock and roll. If you're looking for treasure treats, travel agents, treasure boxes, things from the park, concierge service, if you're coming to this area and you want people who are going to stand behind you, you let us know. We're literally going to do everything we can for you. And we've got a team of people. It's not just me and Jen anymore. It's Heidi. It's Jesse. It's Jordan. It's Mike. It's Steve. It's Stevie. It's everybody who's around us, DDM, all the great people who are behind the scenes consistently helping every day. To our members and our mods, you guys are the best. To the people who share us out, you guys are incredible. I could not do this without you guys. I wouldn't even want to. And if tomorrow you guys said, hey, you know what? We don't want you to do this anymore, I wouldn't do it. Because without you guys, we're nothing. Thank you for supporting my wife. Thank you for supporting these channels. Thank you for doing what you do. It means the absolute world to us. But we'll be back at it next week. We'll have some great stuff coming out over the course of the next couple of days. Shorts and things coming out on this channel. So make sure you've got your notification bells on. I've got some videos to be edited. There's Team FP. Look at them dropping in right now. There's Heidi. There's Monorail Steve. They're give it up for them. Because let me tell you something. These people are the best. They're the best out there. And they give every single day. And you guys have no idea what they're doing behind the scenes. But they are amazing, amazing people. So for Jordan, Mike, Sam, the mods, Team FPE, and for Jen, I am the Bear Shark humbly saying, this was our experience. Please don't hold it to you. Go out and experience the world yourself. Go out there, make your memories. Go out there and have a magical day, everybody. Until next week.
See ya, Lido.
See ya, Lido. I was waiting for it, brother.